What is up, homies? Welcome back to another trailer reaction from Heroes Reforged. We are reacting to the first official teaser for The Penguin. I'm a really big fan of the Matt Reeves Batman movie. Going into this, I'm actually pretty excited that they're kind of expanding that universe and that it's focusing on the Penguin because I think Colin Farrell did such a great job. So I'm looking forward to seeing this when it comes out. I think it's this fall. So this year's going to be really busy. We've got so many shows and so many movies coming out. So I can't wait to check this out. But of course, if you want to see Yunker reactions for everything that we're watching, check out our Patreon. There's so much stuff over there. Invincible, X-Men 97, X-Men the Animated Series, a bunch of movies and shows. So check that out as well. What are you looking forward to, if anything, about this show?
I will admit, the first time I saw this movie, I didn't really like in the first half of the movie, I didn't really like the fact that they got their Spanish grammar wrong with El Rata Alada, and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's no Mexicans here to really kind of like fix their grammar. And then when the Penguin fixed their grammar, I was like, yes, okay, Mexican delegation chooses the Penguin. We need a villain, right? We need some weirdos and bad guys on our team. So the Mexican delegation chooses
the Spanish I ever
heard. Because he fixed the grammar. And then after that, I was like, oh, so it was on purpose. I get it. I understand why the choice was made. It's not because they were ignorant. It's because it was misguided. So yes, that was really my only gripe with the movie. Honestly, I really loved the movie. You all know I'm a motorcycle guy, and when I saw him pop up on his little vintage Honda, I think it was like a 350 or like a 450 at the very beginning, I was totally into it. And then his Batmobile is absolutely incredible. That sequence was amazing. One of the most exciting sequences I've seen in such a long time. So I'm into it. So let's see the Penguin speak Spanish. All
right.
Let's see what he's got.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, teaser for the teaser? All right.
Teaser for the teaser, yeah.
God damn.
Always.
As a kid, there was a gangster, real old school type, Rex Calabrese. He was a big deal.
Nice.
He saw you on the street.
A little Maserati, all right.
When I'm 14 or something, he has a heart attack and dies.
Oh, jeez.
Still holding a cigar. In my neighborhood, they throw a parade in his honor. Freaking parade.
Nice.
But it was a gesture. A show of love. What he meant.
Oh. Oh, wow. It's a great cast. Yes.
Can you imagine to be remembered like that?
Nice.
Interesting.
This fall.
Okay. I mean, it's gonna be a gangster, like Gotham, straight up Gotham City.
Totally.
Yeah,
well, and the thing that I really like is that, well, there's a shot in this trailer that I think it comes directly from the Batman, which is like the aftermath of when the city gets flooded. There's a shot of Penguin looking out the window over the city. I'm pretty sure that's directly from the movie. And then the shot where the doors open and there's like that halo looking light behind him. There's the exact same shot of Bruce Wayne doing that when he goes in there to confront Salvatore Maroni. So I like that there's all these parallels to really make it feel interconnected. And of course, the design of Gotham City is obviously straight out of the Matt Reeves Batman movie, which is cool because, sometimes you never know what the budgets are going to be for these sorts of things. And you never know whether or not like they're going to have the money to pull off the continuity. But this looks like it's definitely like they're definitely doing their best to make it look like it seamlessly fits into the Batman universe. And the Batman movie was successful enough that I imagine that it didn't take much convincing to me, like, can we justify the cost of this show? Because it's going to cost some doll hairs. So, but you gotta be willing to spend that kind of money if you want it to feel like it's a seamless integration with the movie setup. So I think it looks really great.
Yeah, and I think there's always a risk of like when you change creative people that worked on the project, there's always going to be some discrepancy of like changes and stuff like that. I can't say that I've seen the Batman more than like twice, I don't believe. So I'm not an expert on like the look or the feel or anything like that. But from from what I'm seeing, it looks fairly accurate to what they presented in the movie. Not to say that it's like super difficult to, have a trashy dark city,
right.
Like, with like New York looking ish features, but it seems like they're doing a good job. I think in this case, maybe the volume is going to be super duper helpful in really convincing us of, like that background. I'm sorry, I'm rewatching the video. Like when they're looking through windows, when you have vantage shots through windows and stuff like that, I think there's a really big advantage you have to like just have that be in the background and not be an extra VFX shot that you need to send to an artist, and have it look very accurate to the movie. And I think the orange glow of the lights too is pretty spot on with the color palette that was in the movie. So yeah, it feels like pretty accurate to what I remember seeing so far. I'm gonna have to rewatch it obviously, but yeah, it looks pretty great.
Well, and you're coming off of the work of Matt Reeves and Greg Fraser, who's was the DP on Mandalorian. He worked in the volume. Like he basically, I feel like Greg Fraser was the guy who kind of like set the precedent for what it is to work in the volume because of all of his work on the Mandalorian. And then he goes and shoots Dune and gets an Oscar, and he does the Batman, and people are like, how did that not get nominated for an Oscar? So you're really having to live up to someone who is a really, really incredible DP.
Top of his game.
They're taking all of that into consideration of like, we got to make it feel as seamless as possible. We got to make sure that because that movie also did really interesting technical things. It used lenses that were very vintage, that had a very particular look, that were sharp in the middle, but on the outside fringes they were kind of blurry. Fuzzy, they did film outs where they took the digital print and they would film out certain sections and then rescan it to have grain. I'm sure they're not doing a lot of stuff like that for the show, because that is like probably not. That is very sort of like budget heavy, and it's very particular. I think for this they're going to just I think for this they're really going to do their best to just digitally, with the help of the lenses and the camera they're using to make it look as much as close to as they can to the Batman movie. So I think all that aside though, I think as long as you're watching the show and you just kind of feel like you're transported back into that universe, that's all the show needs to do. And then I think Colin Farrell will take care of the rest. Yeah, I'm hoping Colin Farrell really kind of changes the perception of the Penguin, because I don't know if he did that with the Batman movie. The Penguin was just not to say he was just like kind of a throwaway villain. Obviously, he was a very important part of the movie, but I don't. He wasn't the spotlight. No, he wasn't the spotlight, and I don't know if a lot of people even knew that it was Colin Farrell. Like casual watchers of the series probably didn't even know it was Colin Farrell. But I feel like an actor like that can bring that kind of gravitas to the character that we haven't really seen before. The Penguin in other media has been kind of a joke, and maybe they can bring some like Kingpin, I don't know, like badassery to it or something, because the Penguin is kind of a big deal in Gotham City. So maybe we'll see why in this case. Yeah, and it'll be interesting too, because the show takes place right after the events of the Batman, and as we know, Gotham City is like undergoes a major flood, and crime kind of goes through the roof, I'm sure, because of all that. So it'll be interesting to see how the Penguin tries to seat himself as one of the most diabolical and sort of like gang leader of Gotham City in a lot of ways. Yeah. And how does that influence some of the other future villains that will pop up? I'm sure, I don't think Barry Keoghan's Joker will show up in this, but what effect will the Penguin's sort of presence and ownership or leadership of Gotham City, how will that affect his relationships, and how will that affect how we perceive villains like the Joker? If the Riddler ever comes back, if they ever bring in, they've talked about, there's been rumors of Clayface and all this sort of stuff. So I'm excited to see what kind of a bridge it basically is from the Batman to the Batman Part 2. 8 episodes, so it's going to be a lot to chew on. I have a feeling for this show, unlike a lot of the Disney Plus like Star Wars-y Marvel things that we see, I feel pretty confident in saying that these will be 45 to an hour long episodes, kind of like Game of Thrones. So there's going to be a lot. There's gonna be a lot to chew on in this series, and I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait. It looks great. It looks great. I'm not the biggest fan of like gangster type movies, but at the same time, I love what was done in the Batman, and so I'm ready to see more. Like I really want more, and just kind of really live in this world that was set. Absolutely, can't wait. But of course, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What are you hoping to see in the Penguin series? How do you think it's going to bridge the gap between the Batman and the Batman Part 2? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you check out the Patreon for all the uncut reactions, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.